What's up, guys? It's Mike with NerdFellas, and we finally have our first teaser trailer for Star Wars The Last Jedi. There's going to be a lot to talk about. This is not going to be your typical reaction video. We're going to examine the trailer, we're going to examine the poster, we're going to try and break it down, come up with some theories, maybe combine a few that have already gone on the internet, so we're going to try and figure this out. All for fun. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if I touch on something that might actually happen in the movie, I apologize ahead of time. Because I pissed off my cousin once. He didn't like that. I already knew or predicted that Han Solo was going to die, even though it was pretty freaking obvious. But that's whatever. So, we are going to first react to the trailer. Let's open this bad boy up. And raise the volume a little bit. Here we go.
Breathe.
There's Luke. The island.
Just breathe.
Repeating Yoda's words.
Reach out. What do you see?
Princess Leia.
Light. Darkness.
Okay.
A balance.
Gray
It's so
Jedi.
much bigger.
Emergency concert.
I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
What? What? Excuse me? Oh. Woo. It's a lot to take in. Wow. Okay. That was a good teaser. Way better than the Force Awakens teaser. Especially now that we have Luke. Wow, there's a lot going on. So, right off the bat, we hear Luke saying to breathe, and he's obviously accepted to train Rey. We know there's going to be some kind of conflict at the beginning of that. He doesn't want to, maybe, but it's going to happen. And it sounds like he's repeating the same words and guidance he had from Master Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back, to just breathe and to focus. And she eventually does. And then when he asks what she sees light and dark. Princess Leia pops up with the light. The dark is the remnants of Darth Vader's helmet. Okay. Now, Darth Vader's helmet is crushed and destroyed, probably obviously from the previous film, or maybe Kylo Ren is just fed up and destroyed the helmet himself. Maybe crushed it. Who knows? Man, there's a lot. And it looks like there was a flashback. It looks like there was a flashback to where we kind of saw that reference in the first film when Rey had a huge, when the Force awakens within her, and she sees the past. And she sees Luke with R2-D2. And they witness the devastation of what he was trying to create. He was trying to create this whole new Jedi Order, and it just fell apart. And as he falls to his knees next to R2-D2, you see in the rubble, you see Captain Phasma actually walking out at the center of whoever's with her. And it doesn't look like troopers. It could be the Knights of Ren. And as some of us know, the Knights of Ren are led by Kylo Ren. And they are a group that started off collecting and worshiping and destroying Sith relics so that they would go on with their masters. But then they started collecting them and using them as trophies or prizes to the top knights. And basically the Sith are dead, but they're still dark. The Jedi are pretty much gone except for Luke. And now Luke is saying that the Jedi have to end. And what the hell does he mean by that? So that's a lot to break down right there. And we can get a lot of clues too from that new poster, because as you can see in the poster, we have Luke on the left-hand side of a saber. We have Kylo Ren on the other side. Luke is obviously larger. And then you see Rey right dead center. And she's holding up her lightsaber. And it starts off blue and it turns red most of the way up. And if you look at Luke's eyes, they look similar. They look very, very similar to his father's, Anakin's, in Revenge of the Sith when they turned yellow and red. But it looks like, Luke is definitely filled with rage. He's reached a point where he might have been training himself this whole time. And we know that most of his journey, based on the comics and books, was, from the Force trees to finding Jedi temples and relics and trying to start a school, which Ben Solo, a.k.a. Kylo Ren, was once a part of. We know that he was trying to collect all this and trying to gain more knowledge about the Jedi. But it seems that he found way more than that. And he even says it in the trailer that it's bigger. It's much bigger than that. It's bigger than the Sith. It's bigger than the Jedi. And from what I can take is that we also see in the trailer those books, those historical documents, and they all must pertain to the Force, otherwise he wouldn't have collected them. And it looks like the one particular one that it looks like he's brushing his hand on, maybe, because it's a glove, and it's the hand that was cut off, so it looks like he's the one reading that book. It looks like the symbol of the Gray Jedi. And they don't necessarily need to be called the Gray Jedi, but there's that gray area. It's that fine line between good and evil. It's because, as we know, the Sith and the Jedi are very radical in their ways, as far as Sith are about power and feeding off anger and hate and fulfilling their own destinies and getting what they want, versus the Jedi are like monks. They believe that it's peace and prosperity, and they need to maintain it. There's no relationships. There's just it's just the Force, and it's preserving the Force. We saw that broken though during the Clone Wars, because a lot of the Jedi Knights became generals to these clone armies, and they fought in these wars, and and that's when ultimately the Jedi were destroyed, and that could have brought an imbalance to the Force. Either way, that's a whole different story. But now we know that Luke is riding that fine line, and in this poster we see that I can sense that maybe he's on this vendetta. He was devastated when Ben Solo turned to the dark side, joined the Knights of Ren, became Kylo Ren, and took all the knights, including, it looks like, Captain Phasma, to destroy the temple and kill all the new Padawans that Luke was putting together. And it's just like caring from the sins of the father. It's so crazy to see that this happened to him, and he was so devastated that he just isolated himself. But maybe beyond that, he went to find even more, and maybe he dug deeper, and maybe he found and reinterpreted all the documents that he found. And that's something that I think is going to happen, because it looks like Luke either lost his way or found a new way. And it doesn't necessarily mean to just preserve the Force and be one with the Force. It's using the Force for good. And that's where the Gray Jedi is. It's making sure that the Force stays balanced. And he has become that knight. That's why we see him in white, possibly, at the end of The Force Awakens, because he's an all white. He's not in the traditional brown or black, Jedi Sith. He's in a white grayish robe, and it's a big hint that he has found his own way. He is his own man, and he is no longer a Jedi. He doesn't consider himself a Jedi, and maybe Rey accepts this. She just wants to learn from him, and he's training her to fight back instead of becoming a Jedi, which was to maintain peace. So whew, there's just a lot of info coming to my head, so much. So that's pretty much my interpretation, and it looks like he's saying that the Jedi are over because he cannot follow that code anymore. He has a mission of his own, and he needs to either take down Kylo Ren or try and bring him back to the light. Because we know that Kylo Ren has confessed to his grandfather, aka Darth Vader, that he feels that pull to the light. And even though he killed Han Solo, which may have been the last mark he needed to become a full one with the Sith and the dark side, there's still hope. And it looks like there's going to be some cool action. It looks like Rey might be coming to the rescue, running with her lightsaber. She's training. She knows new things now. She's learning things Luke did, but she's probably even going and surpassing what Luke did at his point in time. And and Luke had to do this all on his own. And he had always been the last Jedi. Even when he started building up these schools to try and teach new young Padawans, it was never going to work. Maybe the Force was already balanced, and now it's unbalanced. And the only way to balance it is to, it's just there's so many thoughts going on right now. I don't even know where to begin. I don't feel that Luke's going to go full dark side, but I do feel that he's going to take it a step further than anyone would or should or wants him to. He's on a mission. He's on a vendetta. He's out for revenge is what I believe. And that's tiptoeing, putting a pinky into the Sith pond. So that's something that is going to be pretty interesting. And maybe Rey's going to be the one to try and stop him and say, no, you can't do that. This is not part of that Jedi code. And maybe she'll interpret the documents in her own way. But either way, it's going to be pretty awesome, I think. I mean, you have all the characters returning. We saw Finn also being escorted. It looks like the First Order finds the Alliance, the Rebellion, hidden on this planet. And it was actually mentioned in the archives or the maps in Rogue One. I forgot the planet name. But it looks like they were all escaping because maybe this was a place where they had these minerals, and that's the way they were funding their rebellion. But they might have to be leaving now because the First Order found them. So, man, there's a lot of information just in this little trailer and a lot of room for interpretation. So, I mean, that's pretty much my 2 cents on this. I mean, just by looking at the poster itself and looking at the trailer, there's a lot to put together. We're going to see Kylo Ren come back even without his mask. It looks like the scar was minimal damage, unless they still have a lot of work to do. And there's a lot of floating theories out there about who Snoke is. We don't see any Snoke in this as far as I could see, but I don't think that's what's important, at least not yet. And it's gonna be fun. This is a great time. It's the 40th anniversary of Star Wars. They released a bunch of new toys, as you can see. I got a few of them right here, and then the Darth Vader. We got new action figures. We had Star Wars Celebration in Orlando. And now the new trailer, new panels. I mean, it's a big year for Star Wars. So, and then that beautiful tribute they did for Leia. So just for Carrie Fisher, who played Leia. So, I mean, there's just a lot going on. But man, so awesome. Just when you think that, oh man, there's too much Star Wars, it becomes not enough Star Wars. So I'm looking forward to seeing this film. I want to see what other stuff they bring. I'm hoping they don't release too much information, but I'm excited, man. Tell me what you guys think. What are your interpretations? What do you think's going to happen? What are your predictions? But yeah, comment below. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe. I just wanted to give you my quick 2 cents and my reaction to the trailer. it looks awesome. I'm gonna watch it again and again, and maybe break it down and see if I can find some new stuff. And I'm sure plenty of people have already done that, so I'm a little late in the game. But thank you for watching, NerdFellas. Nerd out.